everyone surviving so far. No, they are not getting hit.
Look at goes forward. What a move! That's some late braking, and that's what you want to see. Lots of pressure put on the McLaren driver, but he's dealing with it like a boss.
Hello and welcome guys to the stream. Hope everyone's doing well. Just do a quick mic test. There we go. Game is showing. Hello and welcome guys to the stream. Hope everyone's doing. There we go. I'll just join the server now. So we're just going to do some RCI pre-quali today. There we go, 6 hour series pre-quali. See what lap times we can do. I was on, what would it have been, an hour ago or so. Managed to do, oh, it's still the same server, 140.8. So we'll see what kind of lap times we can get. The main thing that I really need to work on is the consistency, because that's what was not very good. Was it yesterday that we were doing it? So really need to work on that consistency. So we'll see how we get on. Again, aiming for really the 0.6s or the 0.5s, but if we could do 0.8s consistently, then that would also be, wouldn't be too bad. Okay. How is everyone doing in the chat tonight? Anyone been up to much today? It's a bit of a pain. I've only got 12 minutes. I don't even think I could do a full stint before the session ends, actually. I might just get the full 5 laps in. Okay, that wasn't too bad. Car feels quite good. Tire pressure is a bit low, but they should go up as we do a few more laps. So today I managed to pass my driving test, so hopefully soon I can get a car, and then in a few months or next year maybe do a bit of go-karting. Hopefully be able to do some YouTube content for that. It just depends what karts I do, because some of them don't allow cameras and some do, so it'll just depend. I might even just do a bit of rental karting, just to get some experience and see what it's like. Because there is 1 or 2 rental tracks not too far away. Larkhill isn't too far away from me, so I might. Pretty sure they have a rental championship as well, but they've got really good rental karts and a really good track. So I might go to Larkhill, because I think it's only, I could be completely wrong, but I think it's like 2 or 3 hours away from me, so that's not too bad. That was not a great line through there. Don't think this will be a very good lap. It was fairly tidy, just a bit slow. Probably be a 141, I think. Get 141.1. A little bit faster than I was expecting, actually. Turn 1 just a bit late on the brakes. Still got a decent exit, just the braking wasn't quite right. Right-hander, just a bit too much, left-hander, sorry, a bit too much curve there. And messed up the exit. Still up on the delta. Try not to understeer here. There's a little bit of understeer there. Didn't lose too much time. Left under could have maybe been a bit smoother on the throttle. That was a bit better line there, gained a little bit of time back. Not much, but it was definitely a little bit quicker. Hairpin, not perfect there, a little bit better. Yeah, final two sectors weren't great. Try to get this turn one a little bit better. Braking was good there, just a little bit late on the throttle. Still about half a tenth up. Try not to use this left-hander curve too much this time. That was much better. About a tenth up there. Might get a bit of traffic from this BMW though, tenth and a half up. Okay, could have done with a little bit more braking there. Had to delay the throttle on the exit. Oh, that was terrible. Terrible two corners there. About tenth and a half up there. Ah, and messed up there. I'm not sure if that was the dirty air or just my driving there, but completely understeered. I guess it'll be 360 there on the grass, but yeah, just a bit of understeer there. Right. You're going to have to update your bio now. 16-year and just passed your test. Yeah, I thought I had updated it. Did I forget? Or was it just YouTube I updated? Create your dashboard. Nope. What was it doing? Where is it? There we go. Oh yeah. Let me update the Twitch now. Thought I'd done it already. There we go. Should update now. Right, we've got 4 minutes. There isn't any point going out. It's a 5-lap stint. So yeah, we'll just wait a few minutes for the session to finish because there isn't any point going out. Yeah. Just check something quickly. Yeah, we've only been streaming for maybe 10 minutes now, so we just did, that was just our first stint attempt, which I binned. So yeah, basically I've got to do a 5 lap stint without, doesn't have to be consecutive, but it has to be 5 valid laps in one stint, so you could do 6 or 7, 2 of them being valid and it'd be alright. But yeah. Aiming for the 140. If I could do a 148, a 140.8 average lap time, that would be good, but I need some of my lap times to be quicker than that, so that if any of them are slower, the average lap time isn't too bad. So yeah, just main focus tonight is just to get the consistency a bit better, because I do have Sunday spare that I might be able to do a bit of this on, but ideally I want to get it done now. I kind of want to get this pre-quali done tonight, so that Sunday I can start focusing on the actual race, because the race is next week on Saturday, so I don't want to leave race preparations too late either. Because usually if it wasn't for the other events I've got going on now and they're being pre-quali, I'd probably be start practicing for the race by now. But yeah, the good thing is on Friday, we've got the Friday next week, the day before the race, we have the Sim Zone race as normal, in the Porsche, but that's at Kyalami, which is rather helpful because it means that we can practice for both races at the same time. And then Saturday this week we've got Logitech G Challenge. Monday next week we've got Race Room, which I may or may not do, because I want to focus on G Challenge. Tuesday next week we've got G Challenge. Friday next week we've got Sim Zone, and then Saturday we have a 6-hour race at Kyalami and the Logitech G Challenge finals. If we get through rounds 2 and 3, that will be the finals for Logitech G Challenge. So yeah, it could be very interesting next week. See how the races go. Got quite a few races. The only one that I might miss is the one on Monday, just if I'm wanting to focus on the Logitech G Challenge, but I'll just see how the pace is. If I'm able to practice for Logitech G Challenge on Monday and the pace feels good, then I might still be able to do the race room race, but I'll just have to wait and see.
Green light, give it all you can.
Right. Let's load the fresh set tires, go out for a stint. So like I say, really I want my pace to be down to the 0.6s or 0.5s. But if I can get 140.8 average lap time, that would be ideal, because that would be a fairly decent pace. It's good quality practice as well, especially if me or Luciano do qualifying. It's quite good quality practice, and it's good practice for Sim Zone as well, because that will be lower fuel. What I might do for the Sim Zone race on Friday, I'm mildly tempted to test the race setup, the endurance race setup, and just use low fuel. It's mildly tempting. Depending if the race setup is finished or not, I might use a Sim Zone race to test it. It would be a good test to see how the car drives.
There's a slow car ahead.
Whoa! Wasn't sure if he was going to get across the track there. We were on our outlap anyway, so it doesn't matter, but we had to go off track. Right, so got 6 laps of fuel. So we'll see how we get on with this. First lap is usually the slowest because the tyres aren't quite up to pressure. But after that we want to be in the 140s if we can. That was a bit of a slow start to the lap. Final corner. Bit too much curve there. Yeah, I didn't expect that Honda to go across, but it's one of those things. Just glad I wasn't on a stint there, because that would have been rather annoying if I was. That's the only thing with these pre-quali servers, especially when they're busy. You don't want to be on them when they're busy if you're doing a stint, because you can get traffic. Just now it's alright with just 4 other cars, but like when it's the final week of pre-quali, these servers can get really busy, and then you struggle to get a stint together. So it's actually some of the top teams, or a lot of the top teams, wait till quite near the end of pre-quali to actually do their pre-qualifying. But I find it better to do it earlier, because then you don't have to worry about it so much. Or if your pace isn't quite good enough, you have a bit more time to focus on it. And it's handy with these ones where pre-quali is also the first race. So I think pre-qualifying finishes like the day before the first race. So you've got quite a bit of time. But also means that other teams could potentially leave pre-quali till the final day. So it's hard to judge how good your pace is compared to the other teams when not everyone's done their laps yet. But there is 50 in the pro split, so there's quite a lot of spaces. So it'll be interesting to see what the competition is like. Okay, there's a slot, 41 for the first lap. Try aiming for the 40s now that the tyres are up to pressure.
Yellow flag ahead, be careful.
Turn 1 wasn't too bad. Turn 3 was a little bit slow on the exit there. Turn 4. No, that was slow. Slower than our first lap. Bit of over rotation there. Bit of oversteer. Just on the entry. Yeah, that middle sector was quite slow. First sector was a tenth up, but that middle sector was just a bit rubbish. Gained a bit of time back on the hairpin though. But yeah, I lost 2 tenths in that middle sector, so that was not really good. Final sector delivers quite a bit of lap time, I think, if we can get it right. Oh, that was invalid. Definitely gained a bit of time though, so. Final corner also was a bit slow last lap. That wasn't much better in all honesty. That was still... Final sector was about on par with our previous lap. Much better exit of the final corner there though. 400ths of a second up. Turn 1 could have been a bit later on the brakes and trailed the brakes. A bit slower than the last lap. Exit out of turn 3 was much better. Just under a tenth up. It's turn 4, try not to lose too much time like we did last lap. Gained like 100th of a second there. That was a bit wide, close to track limits, but gained about 700ths of a second. The S was a lot better there. Just under 2/10 up. Into the hairpin, there's a bit of time if I can get braking right. Braking, not too bad, a bit slidey on the exit there. Lost a little bit on the exit. Braking was alright, just didn't quite have the grip when I put the power down, so I lost all the delta on the exit. Right-hander, there's a bit of time. Just need to be careful not to get on the power too early and get a track limits again. About 1/10.5 in that corner. Lifted off a little bit too much there, but didn't really lose any time at all on the delta anyway. And that exit wasn't great. 140.9 mil. It's not too bad, but not great. Okay, turn 1 was much better there, about 10th up. Oh, a bit sliding on the exit there. Lost a bit of the delta. Turn 1 was good, turn 3 wasn't. The exit out there a bit slow as well. That was a tiny bit slower than last lap. And took too much curve on the entry there, had to lift off. Gonna lose it on the exit. Hairpin, gotta be careful on the power. Yeah, just practice tonight, Grandad. Just gotta do some pre-qualifying for a championship that starts next month. So yeah, just doing a bit of practice. Oh, that was rubbish. Lost a bit of time. And yeah, that was a great exit.
Losing time in sector 3.
Alright, no worries, Grandad. Thanks for tuning in. Thanks for stopping by me. Right, try to get this left-hander a bit better. That was a bit better on the power, but just lost a bit of momentum there. Yeah, lost about 100th of a second. That left-hander, I did probably one of the best I've done it on that other lap, and now every time I go through it I lose like a 10th, so I'm not replicating it very well. And that's the problem with the consistency. So I find a sector or a corner that I do well one lap, and I come to it next lap and then I can't do it quite as well. Too bad. That right-hander was decent. Gained a little bit of time there. That was a much better exit out the final corner there. Gained a bit of time there. Potential down to a 40.8. So definitely still quite a bit in the lap. Turned in a bit early for turn 1, clipped that curve, that wasn't great. Just turned in a bit too early there. Left-hander. That was a good exit. Had a bit more momentum there, gained a bit of the time back. Didn't slow it too much on the brakes that time. On the power, just a bit too early there. Tried to put the power down too early. But yeah, that was a little better. But not by much. Let's see. Yeah, so it's really that consistency. Need to work on the consistency. And what I might do is also add an extra 3 liters would give us another lap. Yeah, that means that I can do 7 laps plus 1 out lap, so that if 2 of my laps are invalid, I can still, as long as the rest of them are valid, I can still count a stint. Because, like I say, they don't have to be consecutive, so it's just 5 valid laps before you go back to the pit lane. So, see how we get on. Judging just by the pre-quali server. Oh, sorry, Austin. My bad. Sorry. Didn't mean to hold him up there. Judging by the pre-quali servers, it looks like it will be very, very close. Also looking at the pre-quali for the esports 6-hour series, it's also very, very close as well. So making sure we get ourselves into pro split will be crucial, but also we'll need really good consistency and pace in the race, but also in quality. If there's 50 cars in round 1, we really need to get a really good quality lap together, because there's going to be a lot of cars on track. Even though it's an endurance race, you still want the best starting position possible, because it's usually the midfield is usually the worst at the starts. That's usually where you get most of the crashes. The guys, usually like the top 10, usually in endurance races and stuff, is a lot cleaner, whereas the midfield can be a bit chaotic. In my experience anyway, it's not that case in every league or championship, but with my experience, it's usually around midfield that's the worst for the opening laps. Right, final corner exit wasn't too bad. Could have braked a bit later there and then wouldn't have had to come off the brake so early. Just missed the apex there. Had to go on the grass a bit, still valid, but definitely missed the apex. Actually, I think that might... Was that invalid? No, I didn't think it was. Okay, that was much better there. Gained about a 10th in that little section there. Just the start of the lap was not very good. That hairpin didn't trail the brakes very well at all there. But yeah, the first sector was the worst this lap. Like I say, usually the first one is usually my slowest anyway. But yeah, definitely made a number of mistakes. That right hander was fairly decent. Looks like keeping it in 4th and just lift like a half lift off seems to be a bit more stable than 3rd. In 3rd it seems a bit more like it wants to oversteer in 3rd gear when you go around that second last corner, whereas in 4th it feels a lot more stable. Okay, that turn 1 was good. about a tenth up. Lost a bit of momentum there going into that corner there, but did gain a tenth in the first corner, so the first corner was good. Just turn 3 was rubbish, and could have been a bit harder on the brakes there. Had to wait before I could get the power down. Didn't really lose any time though in the delta. That left-hander was again neck and neck with the delta. That S section again neck and neck with the delta. That hairpin better than last lap, but still not great, and still same as the delta, plus 0.000. That right-hander was a bit slow. So was that. No, don't know why I understeered so much there. I think I lifted off too late there. Should have lifted off as I turned in, and I think I lifted off kind of just after or in line with the apex. So I just understeered a bit there. Rear. Very, very slidey. Okay, that left-hander was good, gained a bit of time. Entry to that corner was a little bit slow, gained a bit back on the exit, but still 200s. Lost, need to get the hairpin a bit better. On the power nice and early. Less wheel spin. Lost a little bit of time, but not much. Oh, that was rubbish. Just too aggressive on the power. Okay, about 4 laps of fuel, so this wouldn't be a full stint, but we can at least see how much lap time we can gain. Try to get a better lap, a bit more consistency. Again, there's a lot of time in turn 1, there's about a tenth of a second there. So we've got a lot of time in turn 1. Turn 3 there was a bit slow. Didn't lose much time, but definitely lost a little. Bit of over rotation there when I tapped the brake pedal. And then I understeered. That was weird. When I tapped the brake it wanted to over rotate, so I tried to catch it with the throttle. And then I understeered because I was on the throttle too early. Completely messed that up. Exit out there was good though, gained a little bit of time. And braking was a bit too hard there, but the exit wasn't too bad, so I didn't actually lose that much there. It could have been a bit lighter with the brakes. This right-hander need to get right. That wasn't too bad with the braking and the throttle. Gained a little bit of time there. That was much better lifting off just before I turned in. Okay, oh, bit wide there, just lost it on the braking. But yeah, definitely a lot of lap time in the lap. Just need to really get the consistency better. Right. Oh, that was Wasn't too bad on the braking, but just a bit late on the throttle. Okay, exit was quite good out of that left-hander, actually gained a bit of time, so about 10th up in the first sector. Definitely still about half a tenth in the first corner, but the rest wasn't too bad there. Right-hander was good, gained about half a tenth. Bit of a slide there, had to delay the throttle. Nice and early on the power there going up the hill. Two and a half, 2 tenths, just over 2 tenths up. No! 3.5 tenths up, was on for the 0.5 there. Oh, that's annoying. That was on for the 0.5 there, at least shows we've got pace. It's just the consistency. See, if I could do 0.6s, 0.5s 5 laps in a row, that would be fantastic. That would be really good. It's just I can do that as like a qualifying lap, but just the consistency is the problem. That first sector again, just over a tenth up. This was actually better than the last lap, that first sector. That right-hander was good. This is a little bit better than last lap. Try not to slide so much here, just wait on the power. Lost a little bit on the exit. Could have maybe short shifted a bit. Bit of a slide, that wasn't good. Yep, lost the delta. Just a bit of a slide on the braking. Try to trail the brakes as much as we can there. And yeah, just a bit too late on the power there. Oh, that was rubbish. Momentum was good there. A little bit slow in, or quite a bit slow in turn one. Didn't go, that over rotated. Some massive drift there.
Your lap time is invalidated.
Yeah, that definitely a lot of time in the lap. Let's have a look at the sectors. Oops. Yeah, so that first sector was our best yet, 0.117. Middle sector we did a 39.7, but then that was the lap that I invalidated in the final sector. But yeah, first sector is fairly consistent. To be honest, the middle sector is probably our most consistent sector. And it's really the first and the final that we have to improve. The middle sector, we do make in the start this turn here. I'm not sure what number that is. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Turn 6, I sometimes get a bit of a slide on the entry, and sometimes mess up the braking on the hairpin, but the middle sector is still, it looks like our most consistent, so we need to work on being a bit more consistent in the first sector and the final sector. The final sector is mainly this turn here, the second last one. That's the one that I mess up the most. But yeah, I had a 0.5 in the delta, not last lap, but the lap before. So there was quite a bit of pace still to find in the lap. But like I say, the main thing is just that consistency. Why is it tire set 1? I'm sure I already used tire set 1. Let's return the carriage on. I could be wrong, but I thought I used... Oh, I haven't used tire set 1. Oh well. Thought I had. Oh, that was in the last server that I used tire set 1, that's what it was. I haven't used tire set 1 in this one. That's weird, because usually when you go to the garage after using... Your first tire set is usually like tire set 18 or something, just whatever you last used on the setup. But usually, the second time you go back to the garage and put on a set of tires, it usually starts you from tire set 1, so it's weird it hasn't used tire set 1, but it's used 2, 3 and 4. Maybe I pressed it twice or something like that. So yeah, let's just try and get a bit more consistent. Like I say, we've got 7 laps, so the first one is usually a bit slower, and then we basically have 6 laps and we need to do 5 valve laps. So we've got our out lap, then we've got the first flying lap, which is usually a little bit slower, and then after that we can really push the next 6 laps. Say the pace is there. I would like a bit more pace to get like low 40s, but I am happy with the pace that's in the delta there, like a 0.5. It's just the consistency I really need to improve. But that other lap where we're like 4 tenths up, there is a lot of time in the lap. That was this right-hander here that I messed up that one up. Just a bit lifted off the throttle just a little bit too late. A little bit of understeer. You can save it with the brake, but if you're going to have to tap the brake, then you do lose the lap usually, just because you lose so much momentum. So in the race you would maybe tap it with the brake when you knew you were going to understeer, but in quali sometimes it's worth just seeing if you can just make it in track limits. But there I just went a bit too wide. Turn 1 wasn't too bad there, a little bit of a wheel spin on the exit, but still just over a tenth up in the first corner, which is good, because this is our first lap on these, first flying lap on these tyres, so sometimes the grip level's a bit lower. But turn 1 was good, turn 3 was a little bit slow, a little bit of wheel spin. Turn 4 wasn't too bad, I don't think it was really quick on the delta, it was nice and smooth. Turn 5, good exit there. To turn 6, try not get any oversteer on the entry, that was nice. Get the power down up the hill, good momentum, about 10th up, into the hairpin, and power nice and early. Oh, that wasn't great. Slide there again. Still improved on that lap, but there was a lot of mistakes there. It's still not bad for the first flying lap on these tires. Good for a stint, but just a few mistakes. Okay, turn 1 was about on par. Turn 3 we lost a bit of time last lap. Just a bit late on the power there. Didn't slide so much, but just delayed the power a bit too much. Oh, pants. What happened there? Oh, the tyres are completely wet. You slide there, the tyres just... something I'm going to have to be really careful of in the race. The tyres just overheat so much if you do that. What did I do wrong there? Just... it rotates when you hit the brake, but it seemed to just slides as soon as I turned in. You know what, it was maybe because I turned in and then hit the brakes. Maybe just actually braked too late into the corner. But there we've got purple first 2 sectors, but slow first sector on that lap. So even though there was a bit more potential in the lap, especially the final sector, we lost a 1/10.5 in the final sector compared to our best sector. And the first sector was a little bit slower. But compared to the Audi, our best first sector is 2.5 tenths slower. No, sorry, 1.5 tenths slower in the first sector than the Audi. So that potentially, part of that could potentially be the straight, because this is when you're getting closer to top speed. It could be the straight line speed of the Porsche, and a big chunk of it will also be this left-hander that I messed up. That could be it. Just 1 second, just gonna reply to a quick message. Fresh set of tyres, make sure they're actually fresh set. Okay, setup. Just if you press the setup, for some reason it reheats the tires. I don't know why, or it changes the tire set, and you go into the setup. So if you leave the car sitting for a few seconds, the tires start to cool down. So you press on the setup again, it usually changes the tire set again, so the tires are warm for you going out. So there our potential's down to a 0.6, but we know we can do a 0.5 because we have that in the delta. The 0.6 is just our best valid sectors put together. So like I say, we need to get a better first sector, because that's where we're losing the most time to the Audi. We're quicker than him in the final two sectors, but our best sectors, our purple sectors, are better than his in the final two sectors, but our best first sector is about a tenth and a half slower than the Audi. So that first sector we need to find a bit of pace. I think most of it is going to be turn 3. I think that's where I lose the most time, because I know I had a bit of slide and not much momentum on that lap. So I think that's where I've lost most of the time there. But that definitely the first sector, and then just the rest of the lap, we just need to be a bit more consistent. Like I say, if I could get an average of a 140.8 over the 5 laps, then I'd be happy with that. It's just the consistency. But that stint was a little bit more consistent, a little bit better, but still far from perfect. Right. Okay, final corner, exit was alright, to the first corner, tad early on the brakes, on the power nice and early, not much of a slide, neck and neck on the delta, turn 3, tried to keep the momentum up, that was a bit better but still just a little bit late on the throttle, but still up on the delta. To turn 4, try not to slide it again. It was better, didn't slide, but I think I just braked a little too hard there. Into the left. Decent exit, gain a bit of the time back. Too much curb on the entry there, completely messed those two corners up there. And to the left hander. Rubbish middle sector. Hi, NGU IC3. I do remember you, yeah, from ACR on Xbox. Nice. PLR as well, yeah. Long time no see. How's things? Thanks for joining into the stream. Oh, that was a bit too much curve, but that lap was 4 tenths down, so it was never going to be any good for a stint. You still doing racing IC3 or on PC, Xbox? What are you doing now? Okay, that was turn 1 wasn't too bad. Turn 3 again, just try to keep that momentum up. Not great. Oh, nice. I've got a Moza wheel as well. What one did you get? Looking for PC communities. If you, I would recommend like PLR's got PC stuff. And also if you're looking to find communities, if you look on like SimGrid or SimRacing GP or Grid Finder, those are your 3 best places to find leagues and stuff. Oh, same setup as me then. Actually, CS. I think this is the GS wheel, I can't remember. But the same wheelbase, the R9. How are you finding the direct drive wheelbase? But yeah, if you want any help finding any leaks with that, I can. If you send me a message on Discord, I can send you some links for those if you like. That right-hander was good, gained a bit of time there. Oh, but too late on the brakes on the final corner. Second last corner was great, and the final corner was rubbish. Yeah, definitely an upgrade from the G920. G920 is a solid beginner wheel, but once you go to the direct drive wheelbases, you don't want to go back to belt or gear driven. Just a lot more smoother. What pedals are you running? Are you running the Logitech pedals, or did you swap your pedals as well? Oh, lost the momentum there. Again in turn 3. Moza SRP, nice. How are you finding them? I haven't really looked at any of the reviews for them. Oh, too aggressive. Too aggressive on the throttle there. Okay, that right-hander was fantastic. Gained. We went from red on the delta to up in the green. Hi Pascal, how's it going? They are a hybrid between potentiometer and load cell. Definitely higher quality. I'll read the rest next one. Whoa, lots of wheel spin there. On the power. There's a lot of wheel spin. And more, definitely higher quality and more comfortable for me. Can actually use the socks instead of wearing shoes. Nice. That's good then if they've been good for you. So like I say, I haven't really seen any, well I have seen reviews but I haven't actually watched really any of the reviews, so I wasn't sure what they were like, but they sound quite good. Like I say, the other Moza stuff I've used, like the GS wheel and the R9 base, same as what you've got, have been really good. The only complaint I have with the base is that it does get hot after you used it for an extended period of time, which for some people is absolutely fine because they just don't use it that much, but for me personally, doing by the time you've done half an hour practice session, 15-minute quali in a 1 hour race, you're up to nearly 2 hours and your wheelbase is quite hot, so that's the only thing for me. It would be good if it had some better cooling, like the TX had, the fans and that, but then at the same time the TX got really dusty on the inside, so you don't have the problem with dust with the Moza, but the heat can be a little bit of an issue. Passes your driving test in real life, yeah. I passed my driver's test in real life today, so I now have a license to drive a real car, which will obviously not be as fast as anything that I drive in the sim. I think it's I'll be maybe looking at some cars tomorrow, I'm not sure, but yeah, got my license today. So that was good, a big relief, because the test was interesting. It was actually, the test itself was easier than I expected, but I did get a number of minors, but I didn't get any major faults or anything, so I still passed the test. But yeah, I did have someone pull out in front of me and I had to do an emergency stop. So as part of your test you have to do an emergency stop, and then on the same road, like a couple 100 feet later, then someone pulled out in front of me and I had to do another emergency stop like a few 100 feet later. So I basically did 2 emergency stops. So yeah. Oh, a bit of a slide there. That was pain. Okay, that right hander was still decent. Yeah, doing 4 hours of Watkins Glen without a break, the wheel held up with 30-minute practice and 30-minute quad. Yeah, that's good if it holds up. But yeah, it's not necessarily that it then like turns itself off or anything like that. Because I know the Thrustmaster, when I had my Thrustmaster, it did do that to me once. It got too hot and turned itself off. I haven't had the Moza do that to me, but it is a worry when you feel it and it's like really, really hot. So I would prefer if it had some sort of fans. Congrats man, but don't drive as fast in the sim please. Yes, absolutely. I'll have either like a black box or a app on my phone that tracks how fast I'm driving, how hard I'm braking, what roads I'm on, what time of day I'm driving, and it changes how much my insurance is. So like if you drive at busy times of the day during rush hour and stuff, it can actually change the price of your insurance. And how hard and how hard you brake and how hard you accelerate actually changes the insurance price. So yeah, definitely gentle driving, but hopefully in a few months we'll maybe go do a bit of karting or something like that. Hopefully in Lark Hill or something. Either this year, later on this year, or get everything set up this year to start next year and do some karting would be fantastic. Now that first sector was good, but that final sector was a bit rubbish and the middle sector lost a tenth. But that first sector was, I think, a PB. The first sector was much better there. Our potential is a 140.60. So our potential is good. Just again, the consistency. Oh, bit of a slide there. Managed to catch it all right and neck and neck with the Delta. Definitely a big slide. Not sure if I slid on the brakes or if it was trying to get on the throttle and the wheels spun. But yeah, IC3, if you still have my Discord, if you just send me a DM, then I can give you some links for some of the communities. What sims are you... Aww, really? How far over the line is that? I did not think it was that far over. What sims have you been driving, IC3? Is it ACC or Project Cars 2, Race Room, iRacing? What are you on just now? 140.5 by the Audi. Our potential is a 140.6. So that's quicker than our potential. So we've got the best final sector. But yeah, I lose a lot. I lose just under a tenth in the middle sector, and then the biggest loser is that first sector. Also with the ACC, how much of a difference do setups make? I've stayed away from the Porsche because it felt unstable at Spa. That's my next big race planned. Setups, in all honesty, on ACC make a massive difference. They make a really big difference. Some people, myself included, like to download setups and see what they're like. So, AFOC. Wonder if he's related to Surfoch. I wonder. Don't know. But yeah, setups make quite a big difference for pace. So one of the things you could do is you could go to Popplemeter or Coach Dave Academy or Go Setups, or Hymo. Hymo is really good if you want like esports setups. I would say CDA and Go setups are quite good because they have stable setups and esports setups. Hymo and Popometer are good for getting like esport ready setups, because especially with Popometer, you have the data, but with the Hymo setups you get some like also get some esports drivers that make them so they're a bit more aggressive, which makes them a bit faster, but they can also then be harder to drive because they're more aggressive. Oh, that Audi's just gone. That Audi's just on a 0.3. That's quick. That's very, very quick. But yeah. The other thing is as well is that what I've done in the past is sometimes I will make a setup completely from the aggressive default. So if I'm selling the setup on Popometer, I always make it from the aggressive default, because I don't want to copy anyone else's setups. But if you're using the setup for your own personal use, what I have done in that case is I download a setup from somewhere like Popometer, Hymo, Go Setup, CDA, and then I adjust it to my own driving style. So I will send you a link for a setup guide that is really helpful in ACC. I use this not so much now. I haven't really used it in quite some time. I sometimes go back to it if I'm completely stuck. But let me just send you a link to a setup guide that especially when I first started, I found really helpful. Just give me 1 second to find it. I've got it saved here. Driver 61 setup guide. There we go. ACC share. Obviously, you can use like obviously you can use like YouTube videos, and there's some really good guides by like Dalking on dampers, Jardier and stuff like that, on setups. Also on some people like Luke Addison will also give setups out for free on his YouTube channel. iRacing, ACC, F1 2022, AC and Project Cars 2. Nice IC3, that's a good selection of games, of sims there. But yeah, if you need any setup tips or anything like that, do give me a shout. I would say the Porsche is quite aggressive. It is quick, but it is very aggressive. So, especially for longer races, you might want something a bit more stable. I do have a video on the YouTube channel of some of the cars that I recommend, but in short, it would be ones like the Aston, the BMW, the Audi. The Honda's very quick, but not great on tyres apparently, but it's very quick. Mercedes is fairly good as well, I think. But yeah, especially for longer races, you're talking like the Aston, the Audi, the BMW, Honda, Mercedes, stuff like that. But yeah, you really want to just test as many cars as you can, find the ones that you like, and then kind of narrow it down to which ones you feel most comfortable with. But yeah, setups definitely make a big difference. So if you need any tips for that, just give me a shout. I'm not sure if you still got the Discord. If not, if you just type in !Discord in the chat, it should give you the Discord server, and you can find my account on there. Okay, didn't know that in Germany, when you pass your driving test, it's like, here is your driver's license, you are free to do 250 kilometers. Oh man, that would be amazing. But no, in the UK, it's like, here's your license that cost you countless hours and money, and you are now forced to buy something that is low power, because otherwise your insurance will be unaffordable. I got an insurance quote, right, for a it was either a 1.8 or a 1.4, I can't remember, Audi TT, 2002, over 20 years old. Audi TT. Car was about £1,200 to buy. The insurance was £12,000 for 1 year. So Audi TT's out the window. But yeah, I'm looking at kind of a Honda Civic, maybe a BMW 1 Series but a low engine model, or like a Rover 75, again a lower engine model, because some of them aren't bad on insurance, they're not too expensive to buy. Honda Civic is so far probably one of my best choices because it's a very reliable engine, the Hondas. So I'm looking at some of them. Maybe go view some if there is any tomorrow. Yeah, I've been using the Aston. Yeah, the Aston is also being given a buff recently, so it's very competitive at most tracks, especially in longer races. I personally don't like it for my driving style. I just find that the low torque just doesn't suit my driving style. But you can set it up so it's a bit more torquey, but I never really find much pace in the Aston. But for some people it is very competitive, so if you can drive it, then the Aston is a very good choice. The Lambo was good at the Glen. Yeah, the Lamborghini is quite good there. I know the Honda and the Porsche are also good there. But yeah, Lamborghini is quite good. I don't think I've driven it there myself, but I have seen people drive it there and it is quite competitive. So yeah. Just give me 1 second. Just got sent a link for a car, so I was just replying quickly. Right, there we go. Thank you very much for the follow, IC3. Appreciate the subscription. Thank you. Appreciate that. Sorry, I just missed your chat message there. Yeah, I was doing 146 on the aggressive base setup. 146. Nice. For the aggressive base setup as well, that was a good pace. My race pace was like 48. Yeah, race pace is always a little bit slower. Depending on the fuel load, the conditions and that, your race pace is usually a bit slower. But yeah, the fuel load makes quite a difference on the ACC, I found. Even to tyre wear and stuff like that. But yeah, like the Aston Martin, if you sliding a lot there. If you look on Luke Addison's YouTube channel, I believe he has made some setups for the Aston Martin, and I think he gives a free hot lap setup. So you might want to have a look and see if he has got one for Watkins Glen, because it would at least give you would at least be able to try a setup and see what you think. But yeah, I think the other thing is if you just go onto YouTube, search in ACC Watkins Glen Aston hot lap, then you should be able to find a number of hot laps, and some of them will give you setups for free, some of them will be paid. Just have a look and see if there's any free setups, and then that gives you something to try. 12,000 a year. My wife had an Audi TT when she was 19. I think she paid €80 a month. Wow. Yeah, for me it was £1,000 a month. So yeah, and it was a 20-year-old Audi TT. I was rather shocked. Yeah, I could get a bigger Honda Civic, well, a bigger engined Honda Civic for like 150 a month, depending on how big your deposit was. So yeah. How's that spelt? I might have to type it in the chat, the link, because I can't really spell very well without writing it down. I think it's L-U-K-E for Luke, and then I think it's Addison A-double-D-I-S-O-N. I think that's the spelling, but that could be completely wrong. If not, you should be able to just go search in the hot laps, and he's got a lot of hot laps, so you should be able to find his channel for that. It's got like a blue background and that. Oh, you got it, perfect. Oh, that was a bit wide there. Evening Boris, how's it going, mate? Thanks for tuning in, hope you're doing well. So you were doing some Gran Turismo tonight. I didn't get a chance to actually tune into the stream because I was just about to start mine. But yeah, you're doing a bit of Gran Turismo now as well? You doing any like events or leagues on it, or just open lobbies and ranked lobbies, stuff like that? Oh, too much curb there, far too much curb. Still up on the delta, but that was too much curb. The power just a little bit late there. Still gain time in the delta. GT7 online carnage. Open lobbies can be rather entertaining but very chaotic. Just playing for fun, nice. I haven't played a Gran Turismo game in years. It was before I had the Xbox that was the last time I played a Gran Turismo. Because I had my dad had a PlayStation 3 before I got my Xbox. So yeah, it's been years since I played a Gran Turismo. I think the last one I played was Gran Turismo 5, I think it was Gran Turismo 5 or 4. It was one of the old ones, but the graphics were still really good. Is it anything like Forza Motorsport? Because I know you used to do some Forza Motorsports. Was it anything like that, or completely different? Oh, oh, that was rubbish. Oh, I've stalled it. Trying to get out of the way of this other guy. Yeah, RCI Kailami March the 4th, but pre-quali ends March the 3rd, and we've got Logitech G Challenge and stuff like that, so I kind of want to get pre-quali over and done with earlier. So yeah. Oops, I already did the tires. Because yeah, this weekend we've got Logitech G Challenge, and then next week we've got a few races with Logitech G Challenge. We've got 2 Logitech G Challenge races if we get through them. And the first round of... Wait, no, it's this lot. The first round of RCI is on the same day as the Logitech G Challenge finals if we get through, so yeah. So yeah, I just clipped the curb on the entry, got on the grass, tried to save it but messed up. Just check, it was the curb, wasn't it, that I clipped on the inside there. Yeah, I just clipped a bit too much curb and that's what gave me the understeer onto the grass. Right, try and get... There's definitely a lot of pace there, like the potential's a 40.60. We had a 0.5 in the delta on one of the laps. It's just trying to get the consistency mainly. I'm running in it. Oh, nice. What team are you going to be driving for? Or did you make up your own team? In the M4. Yeah, the M4 I've driven once here, and on tyres I made a race setup that was really... It was probably the best race setup I've ever made for tyre wear. The last 20 laps, the pace drop was 0.2 of a second. So yeah, the BMW on the tyre wear here isn't too bad, but the pace is definitely a lot harder in the BMW, because I've driven the BMW here before and I've driven the McLaren before, and I tried the Porsche and it was instantly quicker. But yeah, there is a few tracks in the season that the BMW is good at though. But yeah, pre-quali might be a little bit tough in the BMW. Although with the BOP on the eSports pre-quali 6-hour series, the BMW was at the top. It was very close between the manufacturers. I think the top 4 was all different manufacturers if I remember correctly. But yeah, the BMW was at the top, but that might have just been the BOP. With the regular 6-hour series there's no BOP, but the eSports one there is, so that's maybe made a difference. But yeah, you really need like a really good setup to get any pace out of the BMW here. I know I struggled for quali pace a lot in the BMW here. Turn 1, nice. Are you guys running 2 or is it 3 or 4 drivers, I think, for the championship? You might be able to get 5 in, I'm not sure. How many drivers will you be running for your lineup? That was a bit much curve on the entry there, on the apex, sorry. Okay, that exit was a bit rubbish. Three of us, nice. How are you planning, or what are you thinking about the tyre sets? Because we had a look and it's like only 4 dry tyre sets for a 6-hour race. So tyres could be interesting. I'm kind of hoping that there's at least 1 hour of rain and then we don't have to tyre save as much. So if we have to tyre save, then that's going to be a bit of a pain. But I need to check if there's any weather forecast for the race, if it says if there's going to be rain or not. Hopefully there is. Just it's a bit harder with the setup if there's rain, because you've got to make the setup fast in the wet and the dry. But it is a lot better if you have limited dry tyre sets, if you have at least 1 hour of rain. And also in the wet you can fuel save, so you can extend the stint quite a bit. Oh, I've not looked at it yet, no worries. I haven't actually really started preparing the race setup yet. We'll probably start that start of next week I'll start preparing the race setup, hopefully. Actually, start of next week will be Logitech G Challenge. It'll probably be Wednesday I'll start preparing the race setup. I've got one that I got off a popping meter, but I really need to adjust it, especially if it's going to be wet. If there's any rain or that. Have you done any pre-qualifying already, Boris, or have you not done any yet? That first sector was not great. The middle sector wasn't too bad there though. But that first sector I lost 2/10. Lifted off a bit too much there. A little bit of a slide. Good final corner there, gained a bit of time yet. None yet. Did some laps with turn 1 last night, nice. Well, I think it's till 3rd of March pre-quali ends. I think it's like 12 o'clock on the Friday that pre-quali ends, and then Saturday is the race, if I remember correctly.
Yellow flag ahead. Be careful.
So you got plenty of time to do it. I'm just doing it a bit
Yellow flag in sector 3.
earlier because I want to make sure I've got it done, so I can focus on some of the other races I've got. But yeah, Logitech G Challenge, if we get through the first 3 rounds and we end up in the split finals, and we're going to have Logitech G Challenge and a 6-hour race on the same day. So I'm hoping that's only like the final hour of the race or so that I've got to do the Logitech G Challenge, because I don't want my teammates to have to be struggling for stints or anything. But I've got 3 other teammates. One of them might also be doing Logitech G Challenge, so yeah. Alright, no worries, Boris. Thanks for stopping by, and catch up with you next time. Hope your 6-hour race goes well. I assume you'll be streaming it, so I'll hopefully tune in if I can. But hope that goes well. And understeered there again. You're lifted off too late. That final sector was a bit slow. Consistency's a little bit better though. Lap times just invalidating a number of these laps. But the actual pace is a bit more consistent than it was earlier. But just a little bit slow, could do with a little bit more pace, even if it's just 2 or 3/10 more pace. That would be quite good. Okay, that was harsh. Okay, oh, too aggressive on the throttle, lost the rear. That's annoying. Just a bit of wheel spin. That was a green first sector there for us, or this first sector, just again, just that hairpin, just a bit too aggressive on the throttle, but the first sector was good. Middle sector was not good. Final sector looks to be, final sector was good, actually improved on that lap, just that middle sector lost just under 2/10 of a second, and that final sector was actually a 10th slower than our best final sector. So our potential is now 40.5. Oh, too late on the brakes, Cody. What are you doing? Completely messed that up on the braking.
Yellow flag in second.
set of tyres. And let's just check the timetables. Tried it up with 1 psi. I've not tried it with higher tire pressure because the first flying lap the tire pressures are low, but after the first flying lap the tire pressures are alright on the second flying lap. I think if I increase them, then on the second and third laps they might be a bit too high near the end of the stint. But yeah, definitely for the first lap they are too low. Just completely over-rotated on the braking there. Braked too late. Tried to save it, over-rotated. Corrected it and spun. That was a very beginner mistake. Sidor is here. I recognise his name. Let me just have a look quickly at RCI. What is sent it to? Where is it? RCI. Just find this. I just want to check. One moment. I want to check what the pre-quali times are of the other teams. Pre-quali standings. Okay, let's have a look here. Just yeah, if it's 27.4, we could put the rear up 2 clicks. That's a good spot. I was mainly just looking at the fronts, to be honest. That's a good spot. Then we'll put them up a bit. Right. Oof. Right, so the average lap time, so that's 20 laps, 4 different drivers. Well, some of these are 2 or 3 drivers, but for us, our average lap time is 20 laps, because it's 4 different drivers, and then each of us has to do 5 laps. Our average of the 5 laps is put together, so there's 4 different average lap times. That's put together for 1 average lap time. So the quickest average lap time, the 2 fastest are in the Aston. So an average lap time of a 140.478. The second is a 140.5. Third is a 140.5. Fourth is a 140.5. Fifth is a 140.6. So if I could get to an average of a 140.8, that would put us between P9 and P12. And the top 13 are all under a 141.0 average. So currently the cutoff point for Pro Split is a 142.0 average, which in all honesty that will get a lot faster, I think, as we get closer to pre-quali, because that seems like 1.6 second gap is quite big. So I think that the lap times you have to do to get in the Pro Split will come down a bit. But yeah, I think we've got good pace in the lap. But with there being 4 of us, we really need to have really good average lap times. Let's get a new set of tyres on and go again. Yeah, it might help a little bit. It's really just this car and setup is very oversteery, which is great, especially in the low speed corners. But in the high speed corners, when you lift off, it wants to over rotate, and it's got 45% brake bias. So when you hit the brakes, it also slightly wants to turn. You don't need much steering input if you're braking. So that is the only problem with the high speed corners, is then that lift off oversteer because you're at a higher speed, can very easily put you into slide. So that's why coming into this right-hander, I often tap the brakes in a straight line and then immediately just get a bit of throttle and then go full throttle when I can see the exit curve, because if I'm not on the throttle, it just seems to unload the car and want to spin. But yeah, we'll see if that PSI makes a bit of a difference, because I didn't notice that the rears were a bit low. I've just been keeping an eye on the fronts in all honesty. That was really good. But yeah, we've got the delta in the lap, especially our potential's 3/10 quicker than our best lap, so there's a lot of time in the lap. But it's just the consistency. Yeah, I think to be honest, most of the cars I've driven here want to over-rotate in turn 4. But I think it's because you've got to set up the car to have really good rotation in all these slower speed corners, which Kailani has a lot of the slow speed corners. But then on the high speed corner, it just, I mean, that is pretty much your only high speed corner where you've got to like brake. You've obviously got the back straight where you've got a little bit of a corner, but you don't have to brake for that. So that turn 4 is the only one where it's high speed corner really. The rest are kind of medium to low speed. So it's better to have a car that's slightly unstable here than under rotating the rest of the lap or understeering the rest of the lap. Quality's not too bad, but for a race you don't want it over rotating there too much, because even if you catch it and you just slide, it kills the tyres so much. So the outside, I think we took a bit of curve on the inside there. First part of the lap was invalid though, so it didn't matter. We've got 6 laps of fuel left, so. Whoa, just over rotated on the brakes there. That heated up the tyres a bit. Okay, that right hander was good, nice and stable. Bit late on the brakes, and there we go. Bit of wheel spin on the exit there. Braking was fine, just lost it on the exit. Again here, try to keep the momentum. Neck and neck on the delta, so I lost a bit on the exit. That turn 4 was good. Could have used a bit more track on the exit, but better that than going too wide. Turn 6, that was just took a bit too much speed off there on the entry. Didn't need to brake so much. Into the hairpin. But that did actually gain a bit of time on the delta there. That turn 6 was slow, so we lost 2/10 minute sector. Because of that sector. And that turn 6. Far too early on the brakes there. Nice early throttle though. So don't lose too much time because we get a bit back on the exit. Turned in a little bit too early and then had to turn out of the corner. Just messed up my turn in point there. Went to turn in too early, so lifted off and then didn't quite turn in and just completely missed the apex there. bit of wheel spin there, but delta's not too bad. A little bit of oversteer on the braking there, good momentum. A little bit of grass there, which is going to cost us on the exit, but the momentum was good. Just went a little bit wide. Right-hander was good there. Into the left. Very good exit there. Into turn 6. And just a bit slow. Still just over a tenth up on the delta, but just a little bit slow there. A little bit late on the brakes for the hairpin, but able to trail them and still get on the power fairly early. Actually gained a tenth and a half there. I thought I was on the brakes too late, but maybe that was actually an ideal braking point there, because I gained nearly 2 tenths there. That must be the quickest I've done that hairpin. And I did it completely by accident. Right-hander was good there, could have used a bit more track, so I lost a little bit of time just on the exit there. Still up on the delta. Very good exit there, nearly on for a 0.4 there, but that's going to be a 0.5. More than happy with that. Very happy with that, and the potential is a 0.412 now, so that is much better. It's just really the consistency. We've got 4 laps of fuel, so we could try and do this as a stint. But yeah, the consistency is the main thing there. Okay, gained a bit of time into turn 1. Turn 3, just a bit late on the throttle there. Still up on the delta, but definitely a bit slower in turn 3 than I was last lap. Turn 4, just try not to slide too much. On the power a bit early. Oh, come on! Oh, no. At least it was only a second lap of this stint. Oh, that was such a good first lap as well for the stint. Well, I think it was our second flying lap with that. What was it? No, sorry, it was our third lap actually. But we still had 4 laps of fuel, so we could have done a stint there, but oh well. Our best final sector is way back here. On lap 6 we did our best final sector. So we lost a tenth there that last lap in the final sector. First sector there, as you saw, we had over our best sector there, we've got 400ths of a second. There I had about 600ths of a second, I would say, in the delta. Just lost it on turn 3. Middle sector last lap, like I say, that was by far the best middle sector I've done this session. That was a 0.5. 39.5. I think my best before that was a 39.7. So that was a really good middle sector. Best one we've done. Final sector, like I say, just lost a tenth. Just over a tenth there in the final sector. The first sector, getting a bit better there. Just need a bit more consistency. It's a bit annoying though, I was really hoping that we could get a stint there. But we'll maybe go for one more. Yeah, playing with the PSI a bit more. Try one click on all tires except rear right. Try that a bit. Gumbos, that's the Honda guy. Oh well, he apologised, that's fine. Wasn't his fault that he spun in front of us, that was just unlucky. It's just a bit annoying that we were could have been on a stint there, but it's one of those things. It would be a lot worse when these servers are busy. Right, let's go again. I think this will probably be my last stint and then we'll close up the stream. happy with how the pace is there. If I don't get this stint, I'm going to do some more on the Sunday, I think. I'm going to do some with Luciano. I'll probably do some tomorrow morning if I can, whilst it's kind of fresh in my mind. Because Thursday night tomorrow, I want to practice Misano and the Porsche for SimZone. Really need to get some practice in for that. So I don't mind doing an hour or so tomorrow morning, but after that I'll need to do Misano, because practicing for Misano is a bit more important, because I've got quite a bit of time. I've still got a week and a half left to do this, whereas I've only got a few days for SimZone. It is the Porsche as well though, so I don't mind it too much, because I'm still getting practice driving the Porsche. It's just a completely different track. Right, okay, so 7 laps of fuel, so we can do 2 invalid laps as long as we get 5 valid laps. So let's see how this stint goes. Just check that I've got a good gap, got a 25-second gap to that Ferrari up in front of me, so should be okay for traffic. Let's just see how we get on. Into the first corner, try to get the braking as best as we can. Braking wasn't too bad. Touched the curb a bit there as I put the power down. Neck and neck on the Delta, but definitely lost a bit of time from touching that curb at the wrong point, and lost some momentum there completely. So going to be about a 10th down, still recoverable, especially if our laps don't go above a 0.9, then our average is still okay. Just if it goes above the 0.9 mark, then it's really going to hurt our average lap time. But for a stint, if we're down a 10th or 2, it's not too bad. Also, this is our first flying lap, which is a little bit slower usually. That was okay. Close for track limits there though. Still on for a 0.7, going into a hairpin. Too early on the brakes there. And a bit late on the throttle. Oh wow. I lost like 2 tenths there. Nearly 3. Wow. Okay, so however I did it last lap must have been way better, because now I'm losing tons of time there. So I must have got that hairpin pretty much. Well, it was our best middle sector that we've done. So now I need to try and replicate that, because now I'm going to be losing time in that hairpin.
Losing time in sector 2?
Yeah, that's what I thought. So yeah, hairpin, need to work on getting that consistent. So we find basically where a good braking point and a good exit speed for the hairpin is. We just now need to replicate it. Turn 1 was good there. Turn 3, fairly good momentum, just a little bit too much curve, which unsettled the car. Still on par with the Delta, but just turn 3 could have been a bit better. A little bit of a slide there, able to catch it with the throttle and not actually lose any time at all. Into the turn 5, that was alright. A little bit wide though. Turn 6. Bit too much curb on the entry there, that's going to unsettle us a little bit. Still valid. Definitely lost a bit of time there. Too much curb. Again, I'm just losing time there now. Definitely brake a lot later in the other laps, so just need to find that braking point. A little bit of a slide there. Oh, that's going to be involved. And that's right as well. Well, pace is there. Just need the consistency. that was decent. Oh, what did I do there? That was rubbish. Yeah, I'm braking too early, I think, for this hairpin, aren't I? See, that was better. So I think I'm braking too early, which is then basically forcing me to turn in a bit earlier. So I need to try and brake later and have a later apex. Because that hairpin wasn't too bad. But yeah, I'm just braking too early, which is then that's what's making me turn in too early. Because as soon as I'm coming off the brake, I'm wanting to turn in, but that's too early. So yeah, I need to brake a little bit later into the hairpin. But yeah, that was really messed up the turn 6. Hairpin wasn't too bad though. Turn 1, not perfect. Oh, what was that?
Please try to stay on the track.
Completely messed that up. This won't count as a stint now because well actually it will, we've got the valid lap, so it'll just be, if we get the next 2 laps valid, it will just be, or 3 laps, it will just be a bit slow because some of the other laps were slow. Oh well. Finish this lap, this is going to be invalid, then we can start again. See that's too early. I think that's what I'm doing. I think I'm braking too early. But yeah, we'll do this stint, finish this one up, and then we'll close up the stream and I'll try get a stint done tomorrow morning if I can. Okay, actually up on the delta a bit, maybe got a good exit out of the final corner there. Oh, touched the grass. Decided to get too much steering there. Started that curb on the right, still a bit too early. Still too early on the brakes though. My tendency is just to brake far too early for that hairpin. But I'm glad I actually accidentally braked later than I usually do, because that showed me where all the delta was. bit slow. So is that.
Slow car ahead.
Oh, understeer to the moon. Just gonna let this Lambo past.
Car on the right. Clear on the right.
Just because we're on an invalid lap, don't want to hold him up if he's on a stint. That hairpin was a bit better braking, but the Delta we still lost time because I went wide on the corner before. Right, final lap. Just going to see what kind of lap time we can do. Try to get all that here. At least we found some pace, it's just really the consistency I need to work on. Happy with. Yeah, I'll save the setup with these temps, put the front right up maybe 2 clicks. But yeah, happy with the pace and how the car's feeling, it's just need to work on that consistency. Oh! 360 there with 3/10 of damage.
Nothing validated.
How did I not invalidate it when I spun? Oh well. Just pushed it a little bit too hard there. Put the front right up there. 2 clicks. We'll go try that. We'll save this. But yeah, that's going to be it for tonight, guys. I'll do a bit more tomorrow morning, see how we get on. Yeah, it does go up. The front right does go up. The front right does seem to vary quite a bit. That's the biggest thing. Right, but yeah, happy with the pace there, guys. Good improvement to get to the 0.5 and the 0.4 potential. Just need to work on that consistency bit. So like I say, I'll try and get a stint done tomorrow morning. If not, I'll have to do it on Sunday, I think, because tomorrow morning I'll do this, then tomorrow morning I'll do this. Then I'll have to do SimZone tomorrow and Friday. And I've also got to do Logitech G Challenge prep at some point. Oh, when am I going to do that? Might have to do like an hour of this, then a bit of Logitech G Challenge and SimZone. That's probably what I'll have to do. But yeah, I've got to practice Logitech G Challenge as well, that's a pain. But it's just one of those things, we'll get some practice done. Right. Okay guys, as always, thank you very much for watching. Hope you enjoyed.